Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me on another video on Reading with Queen Bee. I am here with my friend and my dog, Rampy. Rampy will be joining me on this book reading. The name of the book is called Stinker. And the reason why I chose this story is because my dog Rampy is a little stinker right now. He isn't able to go to his groomer, so he's just been a little stinker. And at the end of this story, I have a special surprise for you guys, so that way you guys will know more of why Rampy is here. So let's listen to the story. The story is on the website Epic, and it is a funny story. The story is called Stinker, and it's by David Seltzer, and it's illustrated by Julia Payton. And Stinker's a puppy stuck in the pound. He's playful and loving and wants more than anything to be adopted. And if you do not know what the pound is where there are all the animals that don't have owners or are lost or picked up from the streets. And you can actually go and volunteer to read to the dogs. And you can also go and volunteer and just help. Or you can go and pick up a dozen of those doggies and adopt them. That would be nice, huh? So yes, please adopt a doggie. Stinker. Let me tell you a story. This story has a very happy ending. And I'm going to move my little me, my mini me, so that way I can read the next page. I'll probably leave myself in the middle. But because of this dog, it starts out sad. This is Stinker. He has lived most of his life locked up in the pound. So there's Stinker. I wonder why they named him Stinker. Do you see him, Rampy? Rampy wants to see him. He's right there, the little stinker. How, you might wonder, did such a sweet-looking doggie get locked up in the first place? Well, when Stinker was a little pup, he ran around nonstop. He barked like crazy, and he often made little smells. So you can see him here. He's going, yap, 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 yap. And then he is barking. And then here he is going, he's saying, woof, bow, wow, wow, and how. Woo. And then here's the cat who's telling us a story. Phew. I wonder what those little smells are. I don't wonder. Stinker's original owner, this fancy lady, did not like seeing him run or hearing him bark. And she especially did not like smelling his little smells. So she sent the puppy off to the pound. And by looking at her, she's very fancy. But she needed a fancy dog, and Stinker was not a fancy dog. But since the story has a very happy ending, you have probably guessed that this delightful family is going to adopt Stinker. And you can see how happy he looks there. He's just yip, 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 just yipping away, happy, go lucky doggy, ready to get adopted by this wonderful, delightful family. Guess again. They thought about it and then thought twice. So then surely this cheerful young fellow is going to take him home, right? Look how happy they look. It looks like this is the one. It looks like he's the keeper for Stinker. Wrongity, wrong, wrong. He got as fast as his car, but no farther. And you can tell just by the illustrator right here how she portrays that stinky smell. Poor Stinker. I think now I know why his name is Stinker. As you can see, the story could go on like this forever. It could even get depressing. So here's all the different people that were going to adopt Stinker. this family. Then nope. And then here comes this gentleman with this little girl, and seems like everything's good, and nope. So yeah, it can get depressing. It looks like he's very, very sad. Poor Stinker. But I don't do depressing. And you can see right here what he does. He lets Stinker out of his cage, and they go around this park to the bus station. He drops him off in the bus. Let's see what happens. This is Mr. Curtis. He is as old as the hills and just as lonely. What he needs most in the world is a friend. And since the story has a very happy ending, you have probably guessed that Mr. Curtis will see Stinker and welcome him into his home. Welcome to being wrong again. Mr. Curtis can't see worth a hill of beans. He wouldn't even recognize a hill of beans if he saw one. Mr. Curtis could probably see a mountain of magical glowing beans, but that's another story. But since this story has a very happy ending, you have probably guessed that Mr. Curtis will hear Stinker barking and welcome him into his home. So there's little Stinker. And Mr. Curtis has a vision problem, so that's why he's not able to see him. But Stinker is barking, woof, woof. Let's see what happens. Hear ye, wrong ye. Mr. Curtis cannot hear worth a hoot. Mr. Curtis could probably hear the hoot of a giant owl holding a megaphone, but that is not the point. Now, since this story has a very happy ending, you have probably guessed that Mr. Curtis will smell Stinker and welcome him into his room. Now, since the story has a very happy ending, you have probably guessed that Mr. Curtis will smell Stinker and welcome him into his home. Well, we have seen what happened when the other family smells Stinker. Let's see what Mr. Curtis does. Finally, at last, you are right. So here it is. He is smelling. And here's Stinker. And that is exactly what happens. He smells him and he likes the smell. And he welcomes Stinker. Now, isn't this a very happy ending? Yes, it is. So there's Stinker and Mr. Curtis. For everyone. So here is Stinker, and there's the cat. And the cat was our narrator today. He's the one that was telling us the story. And Mr. Curtis with Stinker. And look, they look so happy together. Oh, I like this story about Stinker. And like I said, go on your Epic account and you will actually be able to reread this story and just see how many minutes it takes you to read the story. And don't forget also, if you had Stinker as a pet, answer this on your Google Classroom. What would you do? Write me a silly story. What would you do with Mr. Stinker, the dog? For now, the surprise reveal is that Rampy is going to help me start rereading the book that we didn't get to finish because of the school closures, Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate DiCamillo. So that'll be starting next week. So I'm super excited that Rampy will be my special guest throughout that reading of Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate DiCamillo. So please stay tuned to more book readings by Miss Jimenez. And now my dog Rampy will be joining me. And please remember, if you want to keep buzzing about books, keep reading with Queen Bee. Bye. Thank you guys. And thank you subscribers and all my busy bees. I miss you. Bye.